Hey everyone, and welcome to your personalized deep dive.
Yeah,
So it looks like today we're tackling a pretty big question.
it's a big one.
Yeah,
It is.
the creation of
It's
humans.
the ultimate origin story, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a pretty interesting mix of sources to pull from today.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so we've got mythology, we've got scientific discoveries, some cultural insights.
A podcast script that blends it all together.
Exactly. It's going to be like taking a time machine.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, to explore all these different ideas of how humans came to be.
It really is remarkable how this question of our origins just seems to pop up everywhere.
Right.
Across every culture you look at throughout time, it's like we're hardwired to need these answers.
It's true. It's true. It makes you wonder why, right?
Absolutely.
So to kick things off,
Yeah.
why don't we rewind all the way back?
Okay.
I'm talking ancient myths here.
Love it.
The source material mentions some really interesting stories.
Oh, yeah, some classics.
Like, how about Prometheus molding humans from clay, and then Athena breathes life into them?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right, or the biblical account,
Okay.
Adam from dust,
Yeah.
and then Eve from his rib.
It's amazing the creativity.
I know these stories are wild. What do you think about all this?
Well, they might not be scientifically accurate,
Right.
but I think they offer this really fascinating window into how our ancestors tried to make sense of the world and our place in it.
Hmm.
You find these common threads in so many different myths.
Yeah.
Humans being connected to the earth, a sense of purpose, like a reason for us being here.
It's like they were wrestling with the same questions we're still asking today.
Exactly. It's the ultimate human question, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Where do we come from?
It's like those stories were our first attempts at figuring out, like, our identity.
Absolutely our origin story.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Big turning point.
All right.
1859,
Darwin.
Darwin publishes his theory of evolution.
Huge turning point.
Right. Natural selection.
Survival of the fittest.
I mean, that was a game changer.
It really was.
It really was. But I can only imagine that wasn't an easy idea for people to accept at the time.
Oh, it totally challenged the prevailing worldview. The idea that we share a common ancestor with primates, that we weren't just created in our current form, it was revolutionary.
Yeah.
And it sparked these huge debates that are honestly still going on today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So speaking of evolution, why don't we take a look at the epic journey that led to us humans?
Okay.
Millions and millions of years.
A long, long road.
Starting with small primates.
Yeah.
Evolving over these huge stretches of time. What were some of those big moments that kind of set us on the path to becoming human?
Well, it's really this intricate dance of adaptations,
Yeah.
each step kind of shaping who we are today.
Right.
Like, think about walking upright,
Okay.
developing larger brains,
Yeah.
creating tools.
Yep.
These are massive milestones, each one giving our ancestors an advantage and helping them survive in a world that was constantly changing.
And when you think about iconic discoveries like Lucy,
Oh, yeah.
that 3.2 million year old hominid fossil, it really hits home, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Lucy provides crucial evidence of early hominids and their bipedalism. It's amazing how much we can learn from her skeletal structure, about how our ancestors moved and lived.
So from Lucy onward, we see this amazing procession of hominid species.
It's a whole family tree.
Right? You got Homo habilis.
Yep.
You got Homo erectus.
That's right.
Each with these unique adaptations that led to us.
And it's with Homo erectus that we see another big leap forward.
Okay.
They weren't just making tools, they were crafting these really sophisticated hand axes.
Wow.
And they mastered fire.
Hold on, mastering fire?
Yeah.
What kind of impact did that have besides staying warm?
Oh, it was huge. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. Protection from predators.
Oh, yeah.
A way to cook food, which made it safer and unlocked more nutrients.
Wow.
It even created a social focal point, bringing groups together around the campfire to share stories.
So it wasn't just about survival. It was about
Community.
coming together.
It sounds like Homo erectus was really setting the stage for what was to come.
They were laying the groundwork for the emergence of culture.
So we're not just talking about physical evolution.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's the dawn of social structures and cultural practices.
It's fascinating.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to think about how Homo erectus were kind of pioneers,
Oh, yeah.
shaping their environment with fire and
Yeah.
tools, not just adapting to it like their predecessors.
That's a big shift.
It really is a significant turning point in our story.
Yeah. We keep talking about Homo habilis and Homo erectus, all these different species.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around, like, what sets them apart.
Like, besides just the names.
Yeah, exactly. What were, like, the key upgrades that kind of pushed them forward?
It's easy to get lost in the scientific jargon, but
Sure.
each species is like a chapter in the human story.
Okay, I like that.
So think of Homo habilis, handyman.
As the resourceful one, the tinkerer,
Okay.
they were the first to consistently use tools, which suggests a real cognitive leap in problem solving.
Hmm.
And their brains were larger than their predecessors,
Oh.
giving them an edge in a world where intelligence mattered more and more.
So they were the tool pioneers.
Exactly.
What about Homo erectus then? What makes them stand out?
Well, Homo erectus, upright man, they took those advancements and ran with them literally.
Literally.
Yeah, they were taller, longer legs, built for endurance,
Huh?
and a more efficient gait.
So they could travel farther.
Exactly. They could cover greater distances, which led them out of Africa into new territories.
Wow.
And remember those hand axes we talked about?
Yeah.
Homo erectus refined the design,
Wow.
showing this remarkable ability to learn and pass on knowledge.
So they were the explorers.
Yes, pushing boundaries, spreading their innovations.
But it wasn't just physical adaptations, right?
Right.
We were talking about the emergence of culture, too.
Exactly.
How did that factor into their success?
Well, their mastery of fire wasn't just practical.
Right?
It became a social hub. Imagine those early campfires,
Yeah.
bringing warmth, safety, a sense of community.
Yeah.
And this shared experience, coupled with their developing communication skills, it probably fostered stronger bonds
Yeah.
and a sense of shared identity.
It's amazing to think that those gatherings around a fire could have been so important
I know, right?
in shaping our social evolution.
It's often the seemingly simple things that have the most profound impact.
That's true.
And this is where the story gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Because as Homo sapiens emerged, those cultural seeds we were talking about,
Yeah.
they start to blossom in extraordinary ways.
Okay, so let's talk Homo sapiens.
Right.
That's us,
Great
right?
success.
So what set us apart? What made us different? Was it just bigger brains?
Well, brain size is definitely a factor.
Okay.
But it's not the whole story. But Homo sapiens had this unique combination of cognitive abilities and social intelligence.
Okay.
They were master tool makers, developing even more specialized and complex tools.
Wow.
But more importantly, they had this remarkable capacity for abstract thought, symbolic representation, and complex communication.
So they could really express themselves.
Exactly. They could share stories, build even stronger social networks.
So we had better tools.
Yes,
But we also had this knack for storytelling and connecting with each other.
precisely. And think about the cave paintings from this period.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't just random doodles.
Right.
They were expressions of creativity, storytelling, and maybe even spiritual beliefs.
Like early art.
Exactly. And this ability to think symbolically and communicate complex ideas, well, it set the stage for this explosion of culture that would define Homo sapiens.
Okay, so I'm seeing the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
It's not just about physical evolution. It's about the evolution of our minds.
Yes.
And our social interactions happening at the same time.
Like a fascinating interplay, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
And through this interplay, we start to see something truly remarkable emerge: self-awareness.
Hold on, self-awareness.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about something you can't exactly dig up in a fossil.
Right. Consciousness doesn't fossilize.
So how do we even begin to understand something like that?
Well, we explore its origins by looking at the clues our ancestors left behind.
Okay.
Those cave paintings, for example.
Yeah.
They suggest a level of abstract thought and symbolic representation
Right.
that hints at a growing sense of self.
So those handprints on the cave walls weren't just saying, I was here.
Exactly.
It was, I'm aware of myself being here.
It's a profound shift in perspective.
Wow.
And as language developed, so did our capacity for self-reflection.
Gotcha.
The ability to name things, to share experiences, to express emotions.
It all adds up.
It all contributed to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world.
It's amazing to think that something as simple as like pointing at an object and giving it a name
Yeah.
could have been such a huge leap for our ancestors.
Well, language is far from simple. It's one of the most complex and defining characteristics of our species.
Yeah.
It allowed us to build these intricate social structures, pass on knowledge across generations, and ultimately to contemplate our own existence.
It's like language became a mirror,
I like that.
reflecting back our own thoughts and feelings.
The beautiful way to put it, and with this newfound self-awareness,
Yeah.
came a sense of wonder, a desire to understand the world around us, and perhaps even a yearning for something beyond the material realm.
So from basic survival instincts to pondering the mysteries of the universe.
It's quite a journey, isn't it?
It really is. What a journey for Homo sapiens.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground today.
We have.
From ancient myths to like the evolution of consciousness.
It's mind-blowing.
It's really amazing to think about how far we've come as like a species.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible story.
But I gotta admit, I'm also really curious about what we still don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are some of those big mysteries about human origins that still have researchers stumped?
Well, that's a great question. That's part of what makes this field so exciting.
Yeah.
It's like an ongoing investigation,
Yeah.
with new discoveries constantly changing what we thought we knew.
Right.
One of the big mysteries is the exact origin of Homo sapiens.
Okay.
We know they emerged in Africa around 300,000 years ago.
Right.
But pinpointing the exact location and what environmental factors led to their evolution is still a puzzle.
So we're still looking for that, like, Garden of Eden for Homo sapiens.
Basically, yeah.
That would be huge.
It would be a monumental discovery.
Yeah, and then there's the question of how Homo sapiens became, like, the dominant human species, right?
Right.
We coexisted with other hominids, like Neanderthal.
For a while, yeah.
But we outcompeted them.
We did.
Was it just because we were smarter?
Well, that's part of it, but there might have been other factors too.
Okay.
Social cooperation, maybe adapting to changing environments better.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even just a bit of luck,
It really makes you wonder what those interactions were like.
It does, doesn't it?
Like, did we get along with Neanderthals, or was it like a rivalry?
That's one of the big questions researchers are trying to figure out, and
Yeah.
they're not just digging up bones anymore.
Right.
Genetic analysis is becoming super important.
Cool.
It helps us trace lineages, migration patterns, and even instances of interbreeding between different hominid species.
Wait, interbreeding. Are you saying we might have Neanderthal DNA in us right now?
It's more than a possibility, it's a reality.
What?
Yeah, for most people of European and Asian descent,
Wow.
we carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA.
That's wild.
It's a testament to those ancient encounters.
So those ancient trysts are giving us clues to our health today.
Potentially? Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
It makes you wonder what other surprises are hidden in our DNA.
Oh, there are many mysteries left to unravel.
What else can we learn about our past and maybe even our future from these genetic breadcrumbs?
Well, the possibilities are vast unraveling. The genetic legacy of those ancient encounters is an exciting new frontier. It's helping us piece together a more complete picture of our shared human story.
We've been talking about bones and genes.
Yeah.
But one thing that really stood out to me is how important culture is to the whole story.
Absolutely.
It's not just about physical evolution. It's about how we interact.
How we express ourselves,
Yeah.
how we build societies.
You've hit on a really crucial point.
I think so.
The story of human creation isn't just written in fossils and genes.
Right?
It's in the art,
Yeah.
the stories, the beliefs, the traditions we've passed down.
It's a tapestry woven from both our biological and cultural heritage.
And that tapestry is still evolving, isn't it?
Of course, we're still shaping our own story, even today.
That's a powerful thought.
It is, isn't it?
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive today, what's the one thing you really want our listener to take away from all this?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the story of human creation is a constantly evolving narrative, a journey of discovery that will probably never really end. There's still so much more to uncover, and each new finding has the potential to change how we see ourselves and our place in the universe.
So true. The powerful reminder to stay curious, to keep asking questions, and to never stop exploring.
Keep searching.
Yeah. To our listener out there, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
It really has. Keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring, because the quest to understand who we are, that's maybe the greatest adventure of all.